Good Sunday morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing. Looking at our significant fire impacts in the short term, we have a few. In our northwestern areas, we do expect to see some thunderstorms developing after a period of hot and dry weather. There'll be a little bit of rain with these systems, but nothing too wet. Grasses are mainly cured through here. We'll keep an eye on that. The heavier fuels and live fuels are still quite green. Another area of concern is across central and southern Nevada into parts of southwest Utah. We will start to see gusty south winds picking up this afternoon, and again, that's after several days of very hot and dry conditions. We do expect to see a pickup in fire activity. However, due to our heavier fuel still being not quite as dry, we don't see a significant chance of large fires, but overall fire activity, mainly smaller type fires, could be picking up later today. Here's a look at the past 24 hours. Precipitation-wise, very little, a bit in far northwestern Nevada. And if you look on the right-hand side, you see that's where we had a little bit of lightning, about 100 strikes up through there with light rain amounts. We do expect to see activity in that same area expand eastwards throughout the day. In terms of our precipitation that we've observed on the left-hand side in the past 7 days, it's been quite dry. Just some very light trace to several hundredths of an inch in this lightest shade of blue, otherwise nothing significant. And on the right-hand side, over the past 2 weeks, you see the southern third of our area has stayed fairly dry. Isolated amounts a bit further north. It isn't until you get into the mountains of central Idaho and into parts of western Wyoming and eastern Idaho that you see rainfall amounts in these green shades that could have been anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. But otherwise, a lot of other areas have stayed dry. Taking a look at our ERC conditions, we're starting to see a transition to somewhat drier or more critical type ERCs across the Arizona Strip and far southern Utah. And also popping up a little bit in some spots across Idaho, but by and large, most areas are still below the 50th percentile. However, this does not take into account finer fuels, so grasses and lighter fuels, which are dominant across the southern third of our region, below 5,000 feet have pretty much cured out. So we'll be watching that carefully over the next couple of days. Here is a look at this morning's current upper air pattern. We apologize for some of the different maps. This is our backup system. Our primary data system has had some technical difficulties the past few days. But looking through here, we see high pressure still poking up through the southwest, up into the eastern Great Basin, into parts of the northwest. However, embedded in this large ridge is a small area of low pressure of unstable air, a little bit cooler, but this is the trigger mechanism for showers and thunderstorms that could be popping up across northwestern Nevada later today. And looking at the infrared satellite imagery, we see in that vicinity of low pressure we were just talking about, there is some enhanced cloud cover and some buildups, which will likely spread further to the east across Nevada, and in this enhanced area is where we could see afternoon showers along with some lightning as well. So taking a look at our significant fire potential for today, we remain moderately dry across western Nevada, parts of southwest Idaho, near critically dry across far southern Nevada, the Arizona Strip. Other areas to the north and east still remain fairly moist. In terms of weather conditions, we look at chances of showers and thunderstorms, where you see this area of green through here across much of the western and northern Nevada. There'll be some lightning embedded through here. Precipitation amounts not overly heavy in most spots, so there could be some ignitions in those areas. And on the right-hand side, winds, you can see the darker purple shades across western and eastern and southern Nevada, picking up these shades indicating anywhere from 15 to 20 or maybe even gusts to 25 miles per hour. We won't have any lightning ignitions through here if you look on the map to the left, but if there are any humid ignitions, there is enough cured grass down here below 5,000 feet for the wind to start carrying it a little bit, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, taking a look at tomorrow, Monday, there's that low pressure area we were talking about. It starts shifting further to the east, and our fire potential dryness levels on the right-hand side still fairly similar. Weather conditions on Monday, you see the showers and isolated thunderstorms again spreading to the east and into parts of northern Utah and spreading into parts of Idaho as well. On the right-hand side, some of these stronger winds in this purplish shade, again 15-20 miles an hour in areas where there is some low elevation cured grass. I'll have to keep an eye on that. And if we look down the road for Tuesday, that low pressure area continues moving to the east and starts weakening a little bit. Our dryness levels, again, fairly unchanged, although starting to green up a little bit in our far north. That'll be from some wetting rains after 2 or 3 days of isolated thunderstorm or shower activity. If we look at weather conditions on Tuesday, you can see, again, scattered showers and thunderstorms across northern regions, still staying dry to the south. Winds overall fairly light, a bit gusty in the lee of the Sierra Cascades, but there'll be some higher humidity up through here. Now, if we look at total precipitation over this 3-day period, you can see in some of far northern areas of Nevada, there's about 0.41 inches of rain. That's pretty significant. And near 3/4 of an inch in the mountains of central Idaho. But by and large, further south through here, of course, central portions of Nevada, rainfall amounts quite light. So any lightning that occurs here has a potential for some ignitions. Looking a bit further down the road, starting with Wednesday, we see that high pressure starts building back in a little bit, but we'll be watching a deeper low pressure area dropping down out of the Gulf of Alaska. And by Thursday, we see that low starts approaching a bit further to the south. Strong high pressure still providing some hot and dry conditions across the southern half of our region. But across northern areas, after several days of showers and wet thunderstorms, notice there's a bit more green and less yellow on the map. That trend continues on Friday. That low moves onshore with probably significant amounts of rain across the Pacific Northwest, maybe some instability and some showers, but we will start seeing increasing winds from the southwest across our southern areas. We'll have to keep an eye on those areas that are still critically dry in the brown. And then on Saturday, that low moves onshore. Much of our area is fairly moist through here. There'll be an increase in humidity with that low pressure area, but still in our southern, drier areas, we will have to watch for the potential of some winds. Now, if we total up the precipitation that we get over this entire 7-day period, you can see the wettest amounts will be up in the mountains of Idaho and into parts of western Wyoming, where they're already quite green. But the southern half of our area, which has been baking the last 2 weeks, again remains fairly rain-free. And looking a bit further down the road, our 8 to 14-day outlook, we do have a signal for somewhat warmer than normal temperatures, near normal to the north. But precipitation, we are looking at a drier signal, so that should accelerate curing of fuels in all classes as we go into mid-June, which is normal for this time of year. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.